Hello everyone, hope you're well. I'm going to do a slightly different vlog from normal today because rather than talk about what's happened in the week and all the things that have gone on, I'm gonna put like I'm gonna write in the description below what happened this week at school as a kind of context flavour to why I'm renting. But I don't want it to just move away from the point, and the point is in the title. I'm annoyed because you know any of you who are autistic or have autistic family know all about the whole faff of functioning labels and high and low functioning autism, and it's nonsense. It's ridiculous. It's I mean, to really put it bluntly, it's Nazi stuff. It's eugenics. They're from the Nazis deciding which people, autistic people, were high value and low value, could contribute, couldn't contribute. That is where the label comes from. So straight off the bat, I'm swinging. This is nonsense, and people need to stop using it. Everyone. The label is autistic. That is it. People are autistic. They're autistic. They're not high autistic, low autistic, or anything like that. And we need to stop it. Now, the reason I'm angry about it is because, as lots of you know, my son is at school and he's really struggling with it. It's something that he can't cope with on a day-to-day basis, to the point where he can go in for a few hours and then he usually comes home and he's upset or he's tired or whatever it is, and we're trying to get him in full time, but he's just not coping with it, and it's just too much. And school are genuinely breaking their backs to do it. They're trying so hard, and it's not something that we can really marry up. They do what they do, he does what he does, we do what we do. Everyone's pulling in the right direction. It's just not working because it's just not set up to work. And this annoying label, it's not even on his diagnosis. His diagnosis just says autism, autistic. That's all it says. But because the local authority consider him a high functioning autistic, they've decided that he doesn't suit any of the support they could give. All the schools in the area, we've been told verbally, are for low functioning autistic children, and he wouldn't get the benefit of them. They wouldn't push him enough. They wouldn't get him grades. They wouldn't do this. They wouldn't do that. First of all, that's disgusting. That means that there are low functioning autistic people who are being written off by the education system. They're not going to get GCSEs. They're not going to be useful. Let's just farm them off into a corner and forget about them. That's disgraceful, and just assumes that they're not ever going to be able to do anything. And that doesn't find. I'm very annoyed. The thing is, I understand some of this, right? I do understand the kind of thought process of saying, well, this person's got some other severe disabilities and things are more difficult for them in certain ways, shapes, and form. But the whole point is to find the things that they can do, or they want to do, or they're interested in doing, and that kind of thing. So just saying, they're low autism, so they can't do much. Meh. It's just writing off an entire person and an entire life. But on the other side of it, the situation we find ourselves in, going, oh, he's high functioning, means they're not doing anything. It's literally an excuse to just say, meh, figure it out. He's high functioning. You'll get there. And it's like, it's not working. He's gone through. He's going into year 5 soon, and they're basically saying like, oh yeah, because he talks and he can, I don't know. I don't even know what I don't want to get into a definition of what I don't consider it a high or a low, so I can't define it. I just assume it's because they can sit and try and reason with him to do different things. But because he's high functioning, apparently, TM in brackets, there's nothing. It's just a matter of send a TA to follow him around. Poor old TA gets the odd hit, listens to him ranting on about things, has to deal with him getting upset about people being in his space, or all the different various things that happen that she can't predict. And she's learning to be better with it. And it's not, and this isn't an attack on him either. It's just all the things that are going on. And it's like, he could be in an environment that's set up to understand him, to give him what he needs, to make it a lot less busy, a lot less stuff going on around him. It feels like if there's too many variables, it causes chaos. If there's less chaos, less variables, everything's calmer. At home, I can sit at a table with him one-to-one and he can do things and it can be very calm and very collected and very good. But obviously, if like Ben comes in and starts running around, then it's chaos. It needs to be calmed. And these other schools can offer that, but he can't get into them because he's high functioning, which he's not, because it doesn't exist. It's not a thing. Now, what annoys me most about this is both of these labels are assuming a capability or need based on how outside people who don't know the child or the person from Atom, they're just assuming what they can and can't do, and they're limiting everything about their lives. And so for children, that is severely limiting his future, his differences of what he can do and can't do. They asked him what he wants to do when he's older, and he's like, I want to go to university, I want to be a scientist. And it's like, they're assuming that children who maybe can't talk, who can't answer that question, don't have those hopes, and that's not fair. That's not on. And they're kind of saying, "Oh, well, you don't want to send him to one of those schools because he won't achieve." And it's like, at the moment, I'm more worried that he won't survive to adulthood if he doesn't get the support he needs to feel good about himself. That kind of thing. I feel like he's genuinely getting his mental health damaged by the fact that they're treating him like he's just a regular kid who has a few issues. Oh, really vague like that. And it's like, I'm not saying he's fundamentally some major problem. It's just that they need to acknowledge that he genuinely has real needs that really need dealing with, and they are problematic for him, and they need specialist focus. But they're going, hey, he's high functioning, we could just ignore him. And that is all it is. It's an excuse to ignore his needs and just say, we've given you a TA, shut up and take it. And that's not the school saying that, that's the government, that's the local authority saying that. The school are saying we're doing everything we can, we're really trying, we keep coming up with all these novel ways. He goes and has all this time, he's got a very good relationship with the head, they talk very well, the head understands him. I had a good chat with the head about the fact that I'm really furious with this. I've got in touch with the local authority because I just want to have a rant at them. I'm ranting at you guys because I want to have a rant at them and say, you've got to stop this nonsense. You've got to find him a school that is for autistic children, not low and high, just autistic children. And I don't care what you think he can and can't do. It needs to be an environment for him, and it needs to work. And then we will push him to do what he can do. It's not everyone should be pushing their kids to do what they can do. Everyone should be pushing all children to do what they can do and want to do. That's our job. Yeah. So writing them off is not happy. No, I'm not. I feel like I'm just checking my notes. It's one of these things where it's happening to me a little bit as well. And this, I don't want to go off on a mad tangent, but I'm frustrated because people keep saying things like, I wouldn't have guessed it, you seem so... And then they trail off because they don't want to say normal. And I'm like, yeah, thanks for that. Or you've never had a problem before. And I'm like, I've had this frigging problem my entire life. You don't know what I've been dealing with. And people say, oh, yeah, but you're high functioning. It's like, do not use that nonsense with me, because the thing is, I'm not going to sit here and list all the millions of ways that I'm exhausted or knackered or broken or just feeling the weight of the world for 101 different reasons. But there are days where a noise will end me completely. There are days where I just cannot speak or do anything. And I'm just, Claire will think I'm in a mood with her because I just can't speak. She's asking me stuff and I can't pay attention to what she's saying. I've just not got it in me. There's days where I'm trying to read important documents at work and I'm like, this isn't due for a week and a half. I'll read it tomorrow because I ain't gonna do a good job today. I'm gonna try and write something. I'm quite lucky that I've learned how to pivot. If I'm not in a writing mood, I'll draw. If I'm not in a drawing mood, I'll read. Sometimes at work, I just think, well, I've got some training to catch up on. I'll sit and do the training. And maybe I'm not taking it in as well as I could be, but they always have exams and I'm quite good at multiple choice. So I'll kind of wing it a bit. But that's not high functioning compared to my neurotypical colleagues. They're at work, they do their work, maybe they'll have a tired day. No one says you're a low functioning or autistic, they call them, don't they, neurotypical people. No one's a high or low functioning neurotypical person. They don't say, oh, they're having a low functioning day or a high functioning, whatever it is. It's just different skills at different times and different spoons and bandwidths and so forth. And that's what needs to be understood. They're looking at Ollie and saying at school, well, he can cope most of the time. And it's like, yeah, but he can't, and he's not. And we're absolutely winging it. And it's just not in an environment that's right for him. And it's just a sad fact that he needs to be in an environment that is right for him. I say a sad fact, it's not a sad fact, it's just a fact. But he needs to be in the right environment. And this is why I'm in the same position. I've got a meeting at work tomorrow to discuss what I need, why I don't want to come back to the office, why I'm more comfortable at home. And I'm feeling really pressured to try and get this across because I don't know how to explain. I don't want to be in a crowd full of people with a lot of unknown variables. I don't want to be having to wear a shirt into an office. It's so uncomfortable. I don't want to have to deal with lights that give me a headache and make me feel ill and make my eyes close. I don't want to be in an unknown situation. I don't want to be spending £100 a week or whatever it is on petrol to get into the office. That's ludicrous. There's hundreds of reasons. I want my routine to be structured. I want to be in. I want to get on with it. I'm more focused. I don't want people asking me questions and completely derailing 2 hours of work because I've completely lost my train of thought and then I have to try and get back into it. There's so many things they just don't understand because they just see this high function. Oh, he's got a house and a family. He must be high functioning. It's like it's not how it works. And there are, I guarantee you there are people who have been stuck with this low functioning label who are in exactly the same positions and have done exactly the same sort of things. And the gross thing there is they'll go, "Oh, look at them, isn't that great? Oh, it's so inspiring," and all this patronising nonsense, and it's just all crap for other people to put on us and say, "You are this, you are that." But we're all just we're all our own diverse thing. So yeah, this isn't the most coherent rant, and I'm sorry that it's kind of a bit of a waffle, but I'm just really annoyed because really you shouldn't be using them. Doctors shouldn't be using them. The local authority shouldn't be using them. It is just an excuse to withhold stuff from people. I don't even. I would imagine it's again probably the opposite way around. There's probably definitely things being withheld from the low functioning labelled people because you're low functioning, you can't do that, and so yeah, everyone's losing out. This is just a massive ball of negative losing out. So we shouldn't stand for it. It shouldn't be done, and it needs to stop. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up there, I think, because my page of notes looked like it would take longer than it did. But I'm really annoyed, and I want people to know that I'm not taking it anymore. I'm not listening. I'm not settling for people saying stuff like that. It is hard having to have people write you off because they see you a certain way or they see your kid as a certain way, and they don't understand. And yeah, it's not the right way to put it. So yeah, gonna wrap up. Thanks for watching. See you all soon. Cheers.